What's up, guys? Shadow here. Ooh, we're back. Ooh, we're so back. So back. I've got another juicy review for you. Really looking forward for this one. I kind of wanted to make this video a lot earlier than I probably should have, but you know what? It's here. It's ready. Here we go. As always, any introductions are in order. My name's Shadow, and welcome back to Shadow Gaming. Yeah, a little bit of ASMR for you. So, crime boss, Rockay City. Is it worth the money? Let's get into the review. Oof, that was a massive oof right there. Big oof. So the game is made by In-Game Studios. Now they're a newer studio for anyone who doesn't know them. This is their kind of first IP that they really want to put a lot of effort in and kind of use this as a stepping stone into the future, which is bloody great to see. I'm really enjoying the fact that indie developers are starting to become more prominent with these games, and honestly, they're so much fucking better than some of the shit that we see coming out of AAA titles. So massive kudos to them. Now, there was a good amount of graphical settings. There was plenty to choose from. I really didn't have an issue running this at all, which is not surprising, but also surprising at the same time. You can kind of be a little bit skeptical with newer studios, but honestly, never had an issue. Played this at 4040p, as I always do with most of my games. It had AMD FSR 2.0, which is great for people who are on AMD hardware. But honestly, I didn't need to change a single setting really, graphic wise. It just ran really well, and even when so much like shit's going off, and you're punching SWAT members in the face and then grabbing grenades and throwing them back at people and like lifting cars and then fucking throwing. No, that's the wrong game. You don't actually lift cars in this game. That's something totally different. So skip that one. But you can punch the fuck out of the police, which is, I'm not gonna lie, pretty satisfying. They've done a really good job with performance. If you need to tweak anything, there's plenty to change. If you need to try and like bring down the settings slightly. I mean, I played on 4040p, and my PC is honestly a little bit of a dirty boy, and there's a lot of dust in there. But even so, it's I got an older generation stuff, so honestly, I don't think you'll have any problem running this. But if you do, just tweak the settings. I think you'll be absolutely fine on the optimization. So whatever you do, don't tickle your nan's bumhole. I don't know why I said that. Never tickle your nan's bumhole ever, because that's fucking weird. Graphically, the game is well suited to what it is. It's not like masterpiece blowing in your face. This is fucking like so good. It's a pretty good looking game, and it's probably better than say Payday, which is in the same niche. A lot better than Payday, and you can see they've really put a lot of effort into having their own kind of design on it, which is fantastic. But yeah, for the actual gameplay and the game itself, fits perfectly. It's like a hot pizza on a summer's night. Beautiful. But enough of the technical stuff. Let's get into the game of play. That was fucking weird. I think they've really hit the sound design quite well. There's plenty of like badass music playing when you're in fights, which is obviously a great way to be punching people and throwing grenades, using different types of weaponry, shotgunning people in the face. It's like Payday, but just 10 times fucking better. Because Payday 3 was an absolute fucking failure. And that didn't come from me, by the way. All the guns feel really good. They sound really good. Even when you're punching people, it sounds really weighty. And honestly, I can't really fault the sound design at all. They've done really well at kind of matching the right crisp audio to every single scenario, which is really good. I mean, the voice acting is also really good in this as well. There is a few cutscenes, so you'll be able to see that up front. They've done a great job of picking the right actors. Obviously, there's a few cameos in this as well, which is pretty fucking dope, to be honest. Dope is that a good word nowadays? I don't know. I feel like I'm out of touch with the kids, with the kids. Okay, I don't go down on kids. Just putting that out there. I found the weapons to be really weighty, and if you're a little bit of a connoisseur when it comes to kind of gunplay and things like that, like I hate the fact that some games like weapons don't feel and have that impact, but they've done really well with the weapon design for this, and everything kind of feels like you've got that bit of punch when you're really shooting people and things like that. And they've just done really well at the whole design, and it's big kudos because if the combat in this type of game is not right, it basically it rectifies everything they've done. Because bearing in mind this type of game is surrounded by combat, you're using combat very regularly, it needs to be right, and they've done a good job on it. Now you can play with this co-op, so obviously you can get your friends and play with your friends, do different missions and heists and things like that, which is pretty cool. If not, you can just rely on the AI. I normally wouldn't recommend relying on AI, just because I understand how bad AI can be sometimes. And when you're like trying to tell them to fucking do something, they're standing in the corner fucking wanking themselves off while you're being shot to death. But honestly, the AI is not that bad in this game. You can basically tell them what to do, and the command prompt is pretty easy to sort. They're quite interactive with things. If anything, a bit like Payday, I just use them as bullet sponges because they do tend to do pretty good at that. So yeah, they're not bad at all. They're programmed relatively well. I think they probably just need a little bit more tweaking to be a little bit more interactive. Like they can be a bit slow on grabbing money and things like that, but most of the time they're quite reactive when it comes to telling, pushing them where they need to go and where you want them and things like that. So don't kind of blow this off if you can play it single player and play it alone. It's still worth doing because the AI can help, just maybe not in the way that it was designed. So, what the fuck do you actually do in this game? So, essentially, you play as Travis Baker, who is a up and coming gangster. He's running his own gang, things like that, and the person who owned the city, or the organized crime of the city, has now died. So there's a big power struggle for who's essentially going to be the next leader of Rockay City. Now, when you first go in, they give you a bit of context and things like that, who everyone is, and you then start off playing the game as kind of tug of war on a map that they add things slowly in. So essentially, you can attack places and gain territory, which will give you passive income, and you'll be able to defend your own territory. So it's a bit like a tug of war where you're kind of pushing and attacking and things like that. Kind of got a bit strategic on where you're attacking, where you're defending. So if you lose soldiers, you will lose that pool of resource, which you would need to buy back. Obviously, that costs money, so you need to be careful kind of how many soldiers you're committing to each battle. So you can have essentially a option of how many soldiers you'd like to put into each battle. It kind of gives you the risk element of it. You've kind of got to balance the cost and whether that's going to relay into you winning the battle in the first place. I haven't had an issue winning battles until you get to the later stages where they add new things and it gets a little bit more difficult. But that's something for you to kind of work out and how you want to play and what you prefer. I mean, at the end of the day, if you have enough soldiers, enough money, you should be able to attack and defend as all your territories as much as possible. Everything is set within a day, so you need to get actions done within a certain day, and then you must end the day, which resets everything. On the side of that, to make money, you'll have different types of heists, so jobs that make money. This is where you'll go into the actual kind of crew element of it. So essentially, you'll kit out your crew and you'll go on these different jobs, things like, I don't know, robbing a bank or taking on an armored convoy to get money. There's one where you go and steal evidence off the police. Loads of different things. There's good variety of missions and things like that to be able to earn yourself money. Again, there's obviously be a risk factor, but you need to be able to use the money to upgrade your important members of the group, so they can essentially be fully kitted out for when you do these missions. The risk is lower. Obviously, the more you pick these type of people, the more they'll grow. You can basically promote them, which upgrades their stats. There's also a perk system, a bit like Payday, where you put perks into characters. They can give you another revive and add certain percentages of health and things like that. And you'll essentially use this crew once every day, so you can only use one person every day unless you have a perk that gives you more uses for that character. And it's something that you've got to be another layer of strategy you've got to use, because obviously if you're attacking and defending, that gets rid of soldiers, and then obviously if you want to do more than one jobs, you need to make sure that you're picking specifically the better people in your group for the more harder missions, and trying to use the the ones that need a little bit more upgrading for some of the easiest stuff, so you're not losing. So basically, if anyone dies in this game, they're dead forever, and that's it. So there is consequences for you not thinking about your moveset. Obviously, the more heists you do, the more money you take, the more fame you're gonna get. There's more people who you're being able to hire, so you can obviously go on more missions with better weaponry and things like that. You can also upgrade weapons and things like that. You can add grenades, and they'll have two different weapon types. They can have obviously armor and things like that. You'll also get XP specifically for your boss, which never resets. So even if you fail the campaign, it stays there. So when you reattempt the campaign, your XP stays there exactly as it was. You also have an office that you can spend money on, give it upgrades. That gives you a more XP value for the different missions you go on for your boss, which will obviously lead to more money and things like that. And you'll be able to give more perks to your boss and stuff. Now, with the topic of if your boss dies, the campaign's over. If someone dies, they're dead forever. You can't bring them back. There's no such thing. If someone does go down in a mission, you can obviously revive them, but you only have so many revives. If you run out of revives, they will die and they won't come back in the game. Now, if you do fail the campaign, which I did once, you will basically get put back into the campaign. It randomizes your start, so you might start in a different place on the map, and just to give you some more replayability. You'll start with new characters to be able to hire and things like that. The only person really that stays the same is the actual boss, Travis Baker. Now, you are also able to, on these different mission types, to be able to grab things like, I don't know, valuable resources like materials, gold, and things like that, which you can sell at the black market. You can kind of look at the rate that it's going and decide whether you want to sell it now or wait a bit later and hope the market grows up so you can maximize your profit from it. So that adds another bit of element to gathering money, so you can spend more money on hiring more people and getting better weapons and things like that. Now, the extra layer to the campaign is the fact that obviously this gang war is going on. However, they've added a police sheriff who's essentially fed up with gang wars. He's an experienced guy, and he's coming into the city to essentially build a case to get you guys off the streets. With every heist you get, every heist you do, the heat level will rise, therefore you'll get more of a response if you kick it off loud in heists and big jobs like that. That obviously makes it a lot harder. But he's also actively building a case against you, so obviously every time you do one of these jobs, evidence is left behind, which he's using to build a case. Now, heat level will decrease when you end the day, that's a given, but the case that sheriff is making against you will continue to rise regardless of the heat level. So it will continue to go, and it will go up more if you do more jobs, and it will go up if you attack more and defend more and use the streets as like a war zone. He won't like it. He's going to add all the evidence to basically be able to take you down legally. Now, you may get a couple of opportunities to be able to I don't know, put the spanners in his works a bit, slow that down, but that's for you to find out if you purchase the game. Overall, I kind of really enjoyed the game. I think that, the combat's really good. You're going to get plenty of hours out of it. I enjoyed the war system. It's a little bit basic, but the gunplay kind of makes up for it, and it's kind of nice seeing that, earning all this passive money from things you've taken and you defend it. It adds like a bit of warfare to it, which is kind of cool. I also think that the story element to it is pretty cool as well. They add cutscenes as you progress and things like that, so it adds a little bit of context to things and what kind of the boss is like, and what he's striving for. I'm not gonna say the story is like very very entwined. It's not. It's more of a side thing. This is definitely about the ability to take over the city. With all that said, I kind of feel like they've missed a little bit of opportunity here. I think there should have been some more, customizable elements for the boss. I think you should have been able to pick your own boss, have him, have its own theme, kit them out how you want, rather than playing, a specific character. But at the end of the day, it's not that much of a deal. Travis Baker is a good character, and they have done well at creating him. I just felt like it's a little bit of a missed opportunity with that. And then probably going further and being able to customize your own troops and things like that. I would have preferred to have like a mafia-esque kind of vibe with my gang, but it's not something you can do in this game. But it's not a deal breaker. It's not a deal breaker. I just feel like they've missed a little bit of opportunity. The other issue is, and I can probably see this for a few people, is the replayability. Now, you will get at least 20 hours out of this game easily. I feel like, if you're restarting the campaign numerous times, there's not, you will run out of mission types, and there will be, some places where you probably feel like it's going on for a bit long, and there's nothing fresh coming up. But the other counteract to that is the fact that they are updating regularly. They're really trying to push out. They've already got their roadmap out for 2025, so they're already trying to push out new updates, new mission types, new characters, new weapons. They're really on top of it all, to be honest. But you might find, yeah, you might get to a point later game that it gets a little bit stale, but I guess it's something that you could, play now, get the value out of it now, and then be able to, come back to it in like a couple of months or a few more updates, and you can play the new mission types and things like that, which is essentially what Payday did. But honestly, I think they're doing it in a lot better way. Now, with that out the way, is it worth the money? Yes, I think so. I would definitely recommend this game for anyone who, wants a crime shooter that you can go on heist, play with your friends. I think you'll definitely get a good amount of value out of this game. It's at the moment it's on Steam for sale. So obviously we've got the Christmas sale, but retail price for Steam is only $16.99 for Steam, which is crazy for a small indie game. For the content you get for that price, I'd 100% recommend this game to anyone who likes this type of niche. And if you've got a couple of buddies as well that you can link up with, I think you can't really go wrong with this game. They've done a really good job at it. I think as long as they continue to update this regularly and are committed to receiving that feedback, I think they're absolutely going to do fantastic down the road, and hopefully it'll lead to them bringing out some more IPs and things like that. So absolute kudos to them. Absolute fucking kudos to them. It's honestly fantastic to see some indie developers, really get out in the market and able to showcase a game that's got it, and they're regularly updating. It's really, really good to see. Now that's it for me. Hope this video helped you out and whether that deciding whether to buy the game or not. And as always, it's been an absolute fucking pleasure to review the game. If you have any more recommendations for games that you'd like me to review, leave a comment down below. Tickle the little like button. Ooh la la. And obviously caress that subscribe button if you'd like to stick around for more content. See you on the next video. Shadow out.